The fineness and richness of India's silk, the ethnicity and traditional garb of its cotton. India's textile industry has had a glorious past, celebrated present, and a promising future. The Indian textiles market is expected to be worth more than $209 billion by 2029. This gives us a glimpse of how our fashion industry is witnessing great impetus. Today, the fashion industry adds up to 5% to the economy of the country.
But is this the complete truth? No, there is another side of the coin. In our country, where some people have a vast collection of the latest fads in their wardrobes, there are a huge number of people who don't have enough to even cover their body.
In many households, used clothes are discarded, eventually leading to landfills. According to the World Resources Institute, it takes 2,700 liters of water to make just one cotton shirt. During the 200 plus years of decomposition of clothes, textiles generate greenhouse methane gas and leach toxic chemicals and dyes into the groundwater and our soil. It is estimated that the fashion industry is responsible for 10% of global carbon emissions, more than international flights and maritime shipping combined.
Unlike the families where clothing is abandoned, 1 out of every 8 people cannot afford proper clothing. Many fatalities in the winter are considered natural and no effort is made to discover the specific cause. We tend to overlook the fact that in many situations it is lack of clothing rather than cold that kills people. For adults, a lack of proper clothing can lead to social isolation and make it difficult to find work. And for children, lack of proper clothing might lead to poor school attendance rates, bullying and health problems.
Flexes, banners and posters used in public celebrations and events are either left lying around or tossed in the trash, or they get lodged in the local sewer system, producing blockages and drainage issues. These banners and posters are non-biodegradable and can cause major environmental problems if discarded in landfills. When these are burnt, a considerable number of obnoxious gases are released.
What if we could change all these situations? What if we could reuse and transform all of these discarded clothes and flexes into something useful? Donating is always preferable to accumulating because one man's trash is another man's treasure. As a result, Enactus IIT Ropar launched S-Trend, a project to develop sustainable methods for recycling and reusing abandoned clothing as well as non-biodegradable flexes and banners with the objective of clothing and shelter for everybody.
S-Trend's central idea is to build a smooth channel for collecting, sorting, processing and ultimately reselling the items to the needy for a low price. Through our project S-Trend, we hope to transform the surplus of old clothes and discarded flex banners into a useful resource for those in need. In addition to the IIT Ropar student community's assistance, strategic relationships with different universities, nearby hotels and organizations enable the collection of large quantities of clothing totaling almost 1,500 items.
Clothes, mattresses, flexes and many other items have been collected by our team. We have also established an e-commerce website which is a one-stop solution for both donors and receivers to sell, donate and locate old clothes utilizing local area surveys, keeping in mind the post-COVID situation.
Mats, quilts and handbags are crafted from non-refurbishable clothing. This is accomplished in collaboration with the Razai Makers, a local women's community. All our entrepreneurs like tailors and washermen are from weaker sections, thus giving them the opportunity to uplift themselves and improve their economic status. We have added a new sustainable way to ensure that flexes are used wisely. We developed waterproof and robust bags from the old and abandoned flexes that tend to pile up during year-round fairs or other celebrations. These bags were then sold in the slum areas at nominal cost.
As we expand the initiative, we would like to add new uses for flexes and banners by exploiting its materialistic properties. As flex material is waterproof and sturdy, it can be used in car covers, hiking equipment and tent material which can be purchased in the adjacent hilly areas. According to laboratory tests and worldwide research journals, PVC extinguishes itself when the source of flame is removed. When PVC ignites accidentally, it primarily assists in putting out the fire rather than causing it to spread. Therefore, we are attempting to investigate the possibility of exploiting this flex characteristic in fire extinction. Further, we intend to extend the reach of our new initiative that is flex bags, which cuts down two major problems: decomposition of used flex, replacing plastic bags, through campaigning and bringing in new innovations like customized bags which will attract people. Next to it, we are looking forward to reuse banners as grow bags and flex pots to grow plants.
We began out with little over 650 clothing when we first established the camp, with only a vague goal in mind. Through 10 or more collection efforts, we were able to gather more than 12,000 clothing from 4 colleges till date. This year, we included a few other reusable entities with the clothes to achieve the total project revenue up to 7 lakhs.
Now, talking about the core rally of S-Trend. Around 500 flexes have been collected in the past 3 years from our own college after the fairs and events. Just from the flexes gathered from our own college alone, we can make around 20 to 25 shelters. This part has the potential to create more than 10 entrepreneurs, where each entrepreneur will invest 7 to 100 rupees and will finally be able to sell the shelter at 500 each, generating the total revenue of 10,000 plus. Our aim is to scale up our project throughout Northwest India, which will result in the collection of 10,000 plus flexes, hence generating 1 lakh plus revenue. With this, we have started another sub-project in which we collect used mattresses, pillows, blankets, etc., which the graduates left in their rooms. This year, 120 mattresses are being collected, out of which 40 mattresses are sold to tent house owner for 200 rupees each, 60 mattresses to local hotel owner 400 rupees each, and remaining 20 mattresses are donated to needy people living nearby. Hence, creating more than 6 lakh revenue for our entrepreneurs and helping the marginalized section with the donation.
In our country, most of the clothes after being used are either burnt or discarded into the water bodies as fabric waste, which leads to pollution of our sacred rivers. For the last few years, Estrin has allowed us to reuse over 12,000 pieces of clothes, and from this year we have also started reusing mattresses. 120 mattresses have been collected, out of which 20 mattresses are donated. Estrin has helped us in preventing 350 tons of carbon dioxide, ensuring more than 5.5 million liters of clean water. Our project has directly impacted the lives of over 4,500 people and indirectly impacted 60,000 people, saving over Rs 1 million. This project has also created 20 plus entrepreneurs, which includes 7 women entrepreneurs, and has helped them lead a self-reliant life.
In a year from now, our projection is to set up 25 plus camps providing affordable clothes to more than 25,000 poor people. Our target is to create 50 plus entrepreneurs and generate a revenue close to 1.5 million as a conservative estimate.
The future roadmap for this project would be to provide affordable clothes to more than 4 lakh poor children aged between 7 to 14, 5 lakh plus people aged between 15 to 30, and 2 lakh plus people aged above 30, to offset more than 500 tons of carbon dioxide from the environment and ensure 90 lakh tons of clean water, to create more than 100 plus entrepreneurs, to collaborate with 500 plus colleges and universities, and to have 50 plus camps across 250 plus villages, towns, and cities.
COVID-19 pandemic gave us a major setback. The sudden outbreak created problems in communication with the entrepreneurs and hindered proper monitoring of the project. But it didn't shatter our hopes and passion.
We at Enactus IIT Ropar believe clothing is a basic human right, and it has been our primary goal to help the marginalized to have access to it and to utilize them to their full potential. With this project, Estrin follows responsible consumption and production with over 4 other UN SDGs.
50 plus brilliant minds, countless strategies, and more than 11,800 hours of dedicated hard work made us stand as a hope for thousands out there.
Inspiring,
Innovating,
serving the world.
And working for a better tomorrow.
We are Enactus IIT Ropar.
Punjab, the land of 5 rivers with its fertile alluvial soils, contributes significantly to India's agriculture as the grain basket of India.
Even though the Green Revolution succeeded in Punjab, this picture is no longer rosy. The environmental consequences have turned the prosperous land into a growing web of sorrow and despair.
Know the reason?
Air and soil pollution due to stubble burning. Every winter, this metamorphosizes into a crisis as the air turns into a dark cesspool of carbon and nitrous oxide.
82% of the total crop residue burnt every year releases 32.2 million tons of CO2 and 0.2 million tons of ppm, which accounts for 40% of Delhi smoke. And since it further leads to soil infertility, it onsets a vicious cycle for the farmers.
As a solution, we at Enactus IIT Ropar came up with the project Shwash, which we envision subverting environmental challenges by converting stubble into useful commodities.
Our project first targets the problem of economically and conveniently removing stubble from farms, which the existing stubble removal methods were not able to achieve. Enactus students and other research scholars under the mentorship of Dr. Prabir Sarkar, Associate Professor at IIT Ropar, developed a cost-efficient and groundbreaking solution to the aforesaid problem in the form of SRM.
It can simultaneously harvest and load stubble into the SCT and can couple with every kind of tractor, thus being significantly more economical than the prevailing solutions. Now comes the usage of obtained stubble, for which we came up with 3 verticals. Firstly, we devised a simple, economic and speedy in-situ approach of converting stubble into organic manure, using suitable proportions of stubble, water, cow dung and other organic substances.
In the second vertical, we chemically and enzymatically converted stubble into carboxymethylcellulose or CMC, a highly influential substance used in the cosmetics industry, surgeries for sinus cavity, and many more.
For this purpose, hemicellulose and lignin are first removed, and later rice stubble cellulose is swollen in moderately basic solvent. Synthesis conditions such as acidic content 5 to 7 grams in 5 grams of alkali cellulose, temperature 50 and 70 degrees Celsius, and time 180, 270 and 360 minutes were investigated to obtain CMC from rice stubble.
The third vertical includes supplying stubble to industries for manufacturing paper, an initiative for curtailing deforestation, biobriquettes to reduce the dependence on coal, and biogas, aiming to achieve a cleaner fuel for domestic use. We sold the leftover stubble to the market for getting used in coolers and other commercial purposes and generated some amount of revenue from that.
With the motto of Let Punjab Breathe a Safe Life, our project aims at providing fresh air to the people of northern India. Shwas has the potential to prevent 23 tons of carbon dioxide, 960 kg of carbon monoxide, and many other harmful gases from getting released into the atmosphere per season.
In our initial stage, we collected more than 16 tons of stubble from 18 acres of nearby land, which generated a revenue of approximately Rs 15 to 20,000.
The manure would serve as an efficient substitute to chemical fertilizers, thereby preserving the soil quality and also preventing water pollution caused by the chemicals which run off to the water bodies. CMC, which is the raw material for numerous industries, will also be a powerful use of the stubble.
The project would thus target several UN SDGs in the course of its deployment, including affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, climate action, good health and well-being, and responsible consumption and production.
During implementation, we would have indirectly planted 3,600 trees and would have also saved around 25 lakhs Indian rupees, achieving a sustainable environment fit for all.
Now, coming to the sustainability of the project. Being fairly simple, the process of converting stubble to manure can easily be propagated to farmers, and thus they can convert their own stubble into manure at the farms itself.
With our second vertical, our aim is to create a breakthrough in the field of biotechnology, which has a huge potential in the future. Under the mentorship of our professor, Dr. Bodhisattva Das, we are planning to use the CMC generator to devise a cost and time-efficient method as 3D printer ink so as to create biocompatible scaffolds which will be used in tissue regeneration and wound healing.
Efficiently achieving this target isn't into a single hand. We thus collaborated with RS Farm to generate biogas from stubble, and we also plan to collaborate with hospitals and RD labs in India so as to produce biocompatible scaffolds.
This plague of air pollution caused by stubble burning must be curbed before it engulfs us. We must strive hard to tackle this ominous problem that has reduced our cities to mere gas chambers.
Shwash has the potential of reviving the environment along with creating entrepreneurial opportunities. Let's follow the path of safeguarding the environment by trusting in the power of transforming a harmful waste into a therapeutic breakthrough.